Hello everyone, thanks for joining me on yet another glorious Arizona summer day where it's 50 million degrees outside. Today I'm going to be going over my top 3 custom settings for the Lectric XP 3.0 e-bike. Let's jump into it. The first setting in my top 3 list is LCD brightness. Now this might seem really trivial, but I'll tell you what, when you're riding around on this bike at night, that LCD is super bright. So my number one recommendation is when you first get this bike, adjust that LCD brightness. Now, LCD brightness being too bright, that's not a bad thing. I come from the electric scooter world where in many cases the LCD screens are completely washed out in direct sunlight. Absolutely not the case with this e-bike. The screen itself is super bright, but if you're riding around at night, it might be a little overwhelming. So I recommend dialing that down, and this is how you do that. Now, first and foremost, in order to get to the custom settings menu, you have to go to your control pad here and hold the plus and minus button together simultaneously. That'll take you to the custom settings menu. Once you're in the custom menu, the LCD brightness is P01, and as you can see at the bottom there are 3 different levels, 1, 2, and 3. By default, out of the box, this comes in at level 2. I recommend going to level 1. That's the best mix of brightness for daytime riding as well as nighttime riding. Once you've made your setting selection, you'll see it blinking at the bottom, and once it's saved, it will actually return you to the home screen, which it just did. So we are good to go. Number 2 in my top 3 settings for the Lectric XP 3.0 is the top speed setting. Now keep in mind, out of the box, this is a class 2 e-bike, which means it's got a top speed of 20 miles an hour. Now, if you want to go faster than that, you absolutely can. You can actually unlock the speed of this bike to 28 miles an hour, and that is a simple change within that same settings menu that we were looking at, and we'll jump into that right now. All right, going back into that settings menu, we will hit the power button to toggle to another settings level. In this case, we're going to go to P08, and as you can see, the default value is 32. We want to increase that to 100. Now, what do 32 and 100 mean? I have no clue, but 32 is the low value, 100 is the high value. It will blink at 100, and it will return to the home screen once saved, and the bike is officially unlocked to 28 miles an hour. Now, one thing to note with the top speed is 28 miles an hour might not seem very fast in a car, but when you're on a bike with the wind blowing in your face and you exposed to all the elements and everything around you, 28 miles an hour is actually really quick. I personally prefer to ride anywhere between 18 and 20 miles an hour. It's ample amount of speed, but if you're an adrenaline junkie, you can absolutely unlock this to 28 miles an hour. Simply go to P08 in the menu system, set it to 100, and you are good to go. And finally, number 3 on my list of the top 3 settings for the Lectric XP 3.0 is pass sensitivity. So what is pass sensitivity? When you first hop on this bike, when you start pedaling, you'll notice that there's a delay from when you begin pedaling and when the motor actually kicks in. I personally like this to be as close to real time as possible. So the nice thing about this bike is you can actually adjust that sensitivity level so that you can reduce the delay between when you start pedaling and when the motor actually kicks in. So let's jump into the settings and see how we do that. All right, to adjust that sensitivity level, we will hop into the settings menu. We will hit the power button and toggle to P11. And the default setting is 3. I'm going to switch that to 1. And we'll let that blink. It will automatically save. And so once saved, when I start pedaling, the delay for the motor to kick on will be minimized and as close to real time as we can get. All right, so those are my top 3 custom settings for the Lectric XP 3.0 e-bike. Now keep in mind, I just went over 3 settings. As of the filming of this video, there's actually 12 fully customizable settings that you can go to, and as you can see, I'll post them here on the screen. You can see all 12 in one place. If you do have the owner's manual, which you can also get online, you'll see they also have all of these listed in there for quick reference. And if you'd like to learn more about the Lectric XP 3.0, stay tuned, because over the next several weeks, I'll be posting ride-along videos, range tests, hill tests, the whole 9 yards. And as always, thank you so much for tuning into Tom's Gadget Garage. We'll see you next time.